is Johnna Competent. Okay, would you take the green off of that, please? Thank you very much. It's a privilege for me to introduce Johnna to you this evening. I've known Johnna since she was just a little girl. To have her now part of our club is quite an honor, and I'm enjoying it. Johnna joined our club to get better at public speaking. She has a real heart for health, for nutrition, and healthy living. Through Toastmasters, she's going to get more comfortable telling other people about that. Tonight, she'll be enlightening us, on how we are affected by our input in her Project 2 speech. What goes in will come out. Johnna, it's all yours.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm actually going to talk about health, but not necessarily in nutrition, more personal health based on our input. Now, what I have here is a tube of toothpaste. And you may be thinking, what is this girl going to do? Is she going to teach us proper oral hygiene? No. I'm here to talk about how our input is directly related to our destiny. What goes in will come out. Our input creates our thoughts create our speech. What we talk about is what we do. What our actions are create habits over time, and our habits create our character. And in the long run, our character determines our destiny. So imagine, if you will, if I squeezed this toothpaste, you'd expect toothpaste to come out. We are the same. When we get squeezed, what's in us also comes out. First example is, growing up, I remember my parents had a very watchful eye on what my input was. This, most notably, was two areas: my friends and what television programs and movies that I watched. My neighborhood kids, some of them were respectful to adults, kind, unselfish. Some of them weren't. Some did not call adults by their last names, wouldn't share toys with others, and just had bratty attitudes. Over time, we develop character traits of those that we hang around. Second would be television. On the no-no list in my house was The Simpsons. One was The Simpsons. We are human, and visual pictures stay so permanently in our minds. So imagine Homer strangling Bart, or Beavis and Butthead while doing what Beavis and Butthead did. I have a memory of going to my aunt and uncle's house. I was walking up their stairs, and this program was on the television, and one of them got their arms sawed off in a shop class. Blood was squirting everywhere. I was probably 7 or 8, but this mental picture is still so vivid in my mind. I'm glad that my parents did let me watch a few programs such as Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars junkie. Or The Princess Bride. Another example of our input is, as adults, we seem to forget that we have the same rules that apply as parents would towards children. So as adults, who do we allow to speak into our lives? Do we take advice from people who have fruit on their tree, or from people who have opinions and their branches are withering? If you want to do something in life, listen to somebody who has done it already. It makes no sense to ask your grandmother about basketball if she's never played basketball. Okay? She might be able to help you with ping pong, but your jump shot, no. Take counsel from people who have a vested interest in you. When something goes wrong in your life, it will directly affect them as well. It can be dangerous to take advice from people who just have an emotional interest in you. They may mean well, they may love you, even your family, but when the proverbial poop hits the fan, they might not be anywhere near the onslaught. So the choices that you make of what you let into yourself will ultimately come out the other end. It may not be today, but eventually all of this input will have an impact on your life. Now to one of my favorite subjects is the books that I read. Every day we have to make conscious choices and carve out little chunks of time to fill ourselves intentionally with what we want to change in our lives. I like books because I can spend 15 minutes a day, and if I do that in little tiny chunks, I may not notice it tomorrow, I may not notice it in a week, but imagine a year from now, 15 minutes of one book. Over time, I can read 10, 12 books in a year. Some of my favorites are The Magic of Thinking Big, or As a Man Thinketh. These are positive mental attitude books. There's books by Robert Kiyosaki, which will kind of have a paradigm shift on how you think about finances and money. There's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Cash Flow Quadrant that he was an author of. Funny books, uplifting books, encouraging books, heavy books. One is called The Slight Edge, which is where I got the information on doing little tiny things every single day, and over time these compound either in your favor or against your favor. Over the weekend, I had the privilege of being at a seminar where John Maxwell was teaching. He is a leadership expert. This particular book is on personal growth and having a system for yourself, how to grow yourself. So, to finish up, the buck stops here. Each and every day, we are given the opportunity and the responsibility to determine how we will live our tomorrows. Change is really hard, but it is a choice. So each and every day, consider, while you're brushing your teeth, how am I going to fill my tube?